Hello, welcome to Team SNG Test Hands video. Today we're going to be doing a test hands for the updated Ancient Warrior profile that was featured on the channel earlier this week. If you haven't checked out the profile, what are you guys doing here? Go check it out. Links in the description down below. Also, while I got your attention, I'd like to ask you guys, leave us a like, leave us a comment, leave us a subscribe. Check out the team's Facebook page, links also in the description below. And if you're interested in having your deck profiles featured here on the channel, check out the Patreon down below as well. Ancient Warriors is going second deck, so we are going to be doing 3 going second test hands where we'll draw 6 cards and see what we can do to break our opponent's board and push for game. That's really all I need to say about it. So, let's get into it. Okay, so this is going to act as our field center. It's a little lower than usual today, and that's just because we need to be aware our opponents will have stuff, and we do run the Kaiju Gamma Seal, so we might need to put something up there for Gamma Seal. Now, Pot of Desires, always a good little card to see. There's that Gamma Seal we just talked about. Loyal Guanyan, Ancient Warriors, Sun Liu Alliance, and Gong. So that's our going first test hand. Obviously, we're not going first. So we are drawing into our ingenious Sujay Kong. That's a bit of a shame. You don't really want to draw into him. You'd much rather he be in your deck. But it's fine because we can definitely use him as pitch fodder later in the turn if we need to. So, first things first, we're going to Kaiju off whatever our opponent has that's problematic. In this case, we're gonna be optimistic and we're going to say, hey, we're getting rid of a Dragoon with this. Next, we'll activate Pot of Desires, see if we can draw ourselves something a little bit better. Not that we don't have an okay hand here, but we want to obviously give ourselves the best opportunity to break through our opponent's board. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have banished off. Not too bad. Would have liked it if we could have drawn into him, but we still might. So we've done okay here with this. Draw 2. Oh, best card for us to have in our opening hand. And also a very nice card for us to have. So we've just drawn into 2 of our better searchers that the deck has access to. First things first, we're going to bait out any pesky ash that may be sitting on our opponent's hand with Tenki. But we're going to assume that that search is going to go through. And we're going to search ourselves out our Sun Ma'o. Next, we're going to activate our 3 visits. And we're going to normal summon our Sun Ma'o. That will then let us search our deck for Ingenious Sujay Kong, who will special summon himself instantly. Ooh, and I've misplayed already. He will special summon himself instantly. The misplay that I just talked about was we should have special summoned our Loyal Guanyan before we put anything on the board. But here we are now, so c'est la vie. Can't go backwards. At this point, we're going to activate Masterful Sun Ma'o's effect, sending 3 visits to grave to search out Zhang Yuan. Then, because 3 visits was sent to grave, we get to special summon from our hand. We're going to special summon Gong. And on top of that, we are then going to use Gong's effect, pitching our Zhang Yuan, our Sujay Kong, sorry, to search out a spell trap. At this point, we're going to search out our Ancient Warrior Arrows, Ancient Warrior Saga Borrowing of Arrows. Now what we're going to do is activate Sun Liu Alliance, and we'll call whatever attribute our opponent most frequently is using. And we will then also activate our Borrowing of Arrows, and we will target the biggest monster on our opponent's side of the field, and our Sun Mo, because that is the card we are going to keep on the field most for the longest amount of time. So at this point, we're going to say it's the Gamma Seal, because we have a number with that, making Gamma Seal 1100 attack, and Sun Mo a whopping 2900 level 4 monster. At this point, we're going to go Link 2 into our Ancient Warrior's Oath Double Dragon Lords, and that will let us search out an Ancient Warrior's card from the deck. So we are going to search out Valiant Zhong Day, because we want to be able to hopefully finish this turn. Now what we want to do is we would like to use our Ancient Warrior's Oath Double Dragons effect. So we are going to send from the field to the grave our Borrowing of Arrows to bounce back our own Gamma Seal. This will also trigger our Sun Mo's effect to bounce back something else on our opponent's side of the field. And it will trigger Borrowing of Arrows, letting us activate straight from the deck our copy of Defense of Changban. Again, this is, as I state in the deck profile, playing for turn 4. Yeah. At this point, we're going to special summon our Valiant Zhong Day, and we're going to then enter our battle phase. I can't really draw an assumption as to what our opponent has left on the field. If we assume our opponent has a monster on the field, we can say that we attack that monster, activating our Fearsome Zhang Yuan, which will then trigger our Sun Liu Alliance, increasing everything by 1200 attack, and we should theoretically at that point be able to run over our opponent in this turn. If our opponent doesn't have something on the field, we can't do that. We're not going to have enough to run over our opponent, but we are going to be able to play for turn 3 really well, because we do have a double bounce on our opponent's turn, coupled with a power boost that we can trigger when our opponent special summons, coupled with the fact our opponent won't be able to actually attack any of our monsters anyway. So our opponent is going to have a lot to play through if we do end up not being able to finish the game right here, but potentially if our opponent does have another monster on field, we could finish the game using Fearsome Zhang Yuan's effect to help us run over our opponent altogether. That does it for the first test hand. Alright, going second again. Sun Mo, great searcher for the deck. Changban, I'm never going to complain about seeing it. Tenki, another searcher for the deck. Valiant Zhong Day, and Tenzu. So this is a really, really good opening. If we did have to go first, we would end up with several different things on board, but we would get 2 searches with our Tenzu and our Sun Mo, our Tenki and our Sun Mo, and our Tenzu would give us an additional normal summon, which could be really valuable for the deck. But we are going second, so Ancient Warriors Saga 3 Visits. You couldn't ask for a much better opening than this, because this does basically give us everything we're going to need. We have all the searching that we could possibly ask for, and that will allow us to definitely see the board that we would like to see. So, first things first, Tenki. This time we're going to search out Gong with our Tenki. Now we want to activate 3 visits and normal summon Gong. Gong's effect, 3 visits effect will let us search out Sujay Kong. Sujay Kong, because it was searched out by an ancient warrior monster, will special summon himself. Then we're going to use Shu Gong's effect to send 3 visits to grave, searching out our Sun Liu Alliance. Because Ancient Warrior's 3 visits was sent to grave, we get to special summon our Sun Ma'o from our hand. Now we can activate Sun Liu Alliance. Because we control 2 different attributes, our opponent, we can turn off an attribute on our opponent's side of the field. Then we can use Sun Ma'o's effect, sending Tenki to grave, letting us search out Zhang Yuan. At this point, we're going to special summon our Valiant Zhong Dai. And then we are going to go Link 2 into our Double Dragon Lords, which will then allow us yet another search. For Ambitious Chao Dai. The reason we're going to go for Ambitious Chao Dai is with our Zhang Yuan, we are likely going to be able to put our opponents on their back foot anyway. So now we're going to trigger our Double Dragon Lords by pitching Tenzu, bouncing 1 card, triggering our Sun Ma'o, bouncing another card, triggering our Sun Liu Alliance as well, gaining all our monsters on our side of the field 900 attack. Then we're going to enter battle, and assuming our opponent has a 3rd monster, if they didn't have a 3rd monster, we would not use one of the 2 bounces. We would just use 1 instead of 2. But just to keep that monster on field, because we do want to use Zhang Yuan's effect. So we're going to want to then go Zhang Yuan. That should then let us run over whatever monster our opponent has, which will then let us special summon Ambitious Chao Dai to the field as well. So at this point, we should have broken through our opponent's entire board, whether it's we've bounced stuff or we've destroyed stuff by card effect or battle. Ambitious Chao Dai is also here as well, so this should now, at this point, easily be the OTK for game. If we do end up having to play for turn 3, though, or for turn 4, we do have Defensive Changban, which we can set, and if our opponent does attack, or does enter their battle phase or try to break our board, we can use Defensive Changban to protect our board as well on our opponent's turn. So that does it for our second test hand. On to the third and final test hand. Sun Ma'o. Ingenious Sujay Kong, unfortunate to see him. East by South Winds, Gamma Seal, Dark Ruler No More, and Ambitious Chao Dai. So, this is actually a really, really nice opening hand for us. It may not look amazing, but we do have our Gamma Seal to take something troublesome off of our opponent's board, and our Dark Ruler No More to make sure we go uninterrupted. Which does kind of make East by South Winds a little bit of a dead card, but we can utilize its secondary effect to at least give our Masterful Sun Ma'o the ability to have an additional play later as the turn goes on. So, first things first, Dark Ruler No More. We don't want any interruptions coming from our opponent's side of the board. Next things next, let's get rid of something off of our opponent's board anyway with the Gamma Seal. Move this all back down a bit. There we go. The Gamma Seal. So, at this point, we're going to normal summon our Masterful Sun Ma'o and activate our South by East Wind. East by South Wind. Then, utilizing our Masterful Sun Ma'o, we're going to pop our own East by South Wind, which will give him East by South Wind's effect. And we're going to search our deck for Fearsome Zhang Yuan, because we really do want Fearsome Zhang Yuan this turn, as we are going to have to do this without being able to go into our Link monster. Ancient Warrior's Masterful Sun Mo does now have an additional effect thanks to East by South Winds, which will let him destroy something on our opponent's side of the field if he declares an attack. So, at this point, we're going to enter the battle phase. We are going to attack with our Masterful Sun Mo into the Gamma Seal. This will then trigger our Fearsome Zhang Yuan to special summon himself. It will also trigger our Sun Mo-O's additional effect from East by South Winds to destroy something, which will then trigger our Ambitious Chowday to special summon himself as well. At this point, we've got a decent chunk of damage sitting here on the board. We're going to be able to destroy several different things, and we are going to be able to run over the rest of our opponent's board, hopefully. And we are in a situation where we're going to be playing for turn 4, because we're not likely going to be able to have enough damage on board. Well, we don't have enough damage on board to actually win this in one turn, but we are going to be able to then trigger Sun Mo-O's effect to bounce back our own Gamma Seal potentially, and run over our opponent with our Chowday and our Fearsome Zhang Yuan, allowing us to break their board completely and thoroughly while retaining our own Gamma Seal for next turn and playing for that turn 4, which can be all too important from time to time with this deck. So that does it for our third test hand. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Do leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out the team's Facebook page. Link to that will be down in the description below. And if you'd like your deck profile featured here on the channel, check out the team's Patreon. We do have a tier that'll give you the opportunity to do that over there. Links also down below. And all I can say at this point is, I'll catch you guys at the next video.